Moving on to our next keynote speaker, I would like to invite Kushani Bandara to share her inspiring words with us. Over to you, Kushani.
Thanks, Amy. I want to thank Krista as well because I feel very relaxed to do my speech at the moment. So thank you so much, Krista, for that. Hi, everyone. So let me kind of bring up my presentation as well. So as you can see, my topic today is self-love through self-compassion. And it's something that is, I would say, very dear to my heart as well, because something I've really tried to nurture within me. And yeah, let me take you through it. So what is compassion? I think this is something that we may know about, but what is it really? So if I can like kind of say it in a few words, it would be, okay, you need to, if in order to have compassion, you need to understand that someone else is suffering. There's some suffering within another person. So in order to notice that and feel that kindness and empathy towards that person and actually be able to do something to help them is what we call compassion. So what is it really about self-compassion? So in order to go there, what I'm going to do is I'm going to play a small clip. Let's watch that and see what is it about.
Hi, Kaz. Hi, Shelley. As you know, we are producing a course called The Power of Self-Compassion. So we're just talking to people today about how they treat themselves. Do you have a critical voice? And if so, what do you find it saying to you?
I definitely have a critical voice. I think everybody does. And I think they all start from when you're a kid. So, you know, I think all the things that my parents said, I hear, but it's normally about not doing a good job.
It's constantly stopping me as I try to complete thoughts or try to make steps forward.
It's a voice that always tells me that I'm not enough, or that I need to do better, or that there's something about me that I have to change.
When you fail or make a mistake, what types of things run through your mind?
I'm not worthy. Everybody's going to see my mistake. Nobody else makes mistakes like I do.
You're stupid. I can't believe you forgot something easy. This was basic. Why are you having so much trouble doing something so simple?
People don't want me around, that I'm uninteresting, boring, and or just too weird for people's company.
It says that I should have done better, and sometimes it says mean words about myself.
It's probably the loudest thing that's usually coming through my head before anything else is at least ringing that failure over and over again.
And let me give you a scenario where a friend of yours comes to you, has made a mistake, and what would you say to that friend?
Well, the first thing I would tell them that it's okay. You don't need to feel all the weight of this.
Most likely you're holding on to this more tightly than anybody else.
This in no way, reflects your character or reflects your ability to do something. Definitely a lot kinder to my friends than I am to myself.
How do you think you would change if you used that same voice that you use towards your friends on yourself during those moments of failure and mistakes?
I think it would be, incredible, because you're not going to talk to your friends the way that you talk to yourself sometimes. And I think that if you're constantly kind of reassuring yourself and letting yourself know that you are enough, then your thought process will change.
When you treat yourself like you do somebody else, you start feeling better, I think, right away, and you keep it in context much more instead of letting things be blown out of proportion.
I think I would have a lot less anxiety in my day-to-day. I think there would be kind of a weight lifted.
It would definitely make me feel better and happier, because when I usually say, when that voice that says mean stuff in my head, I'm not really happy and sad.
How could the world look differently if we were more compassionate towards ourselves?
I think the world would work better. I think through compassion and self-compassion, we all would just recognize that we're all human.
As a society, we could learn to love one another and show that love on a regular basis, I think that this world would be perfect.
There's a saying that if you love yourself, then you can love others. Well, sometimes I believe it goes in the reverse, and that if you can show that compassion that you show to others and bring it into yourself, I think that's where true growth can happen.
I think it would be magical. I mean, that's really the only word for it, magical, to be able to reflect on ourselves from a place of love rather than criticism.
All right. I'm sure it took us to different places, but I would love to hear what came up for you as you were watching that clip. You can type it in the chat or even open up and share. What are some thoughts that came to your mind in terms of self-compassion?
I can say something.
Yes, go ahead, Krishna.
Actually, yesterday, I think, or the day before, I was watching this parenting video where it says that the first 7 years of your child's life, first 7 years, whatever you say becomes their truth because they don't have the brain development to be rational. So when they said at the beginning, like it mainly comes from what my parents told me, that completely makes sense. And I think that counts for most of us. And it's hard, like as a parent, you do say stuff that you regret all the time, at least I do. But I think recognizing that can be powerful. Yeah, and questioning and then just changing it around. Like if this would be my best friend, would I also say that to her, or to if this would be my child? So yeah, that came up for me when I listened.
Thank you so much, Chris. I think powerful reflection there. In terms of like as a mother, okay, how am I showing up in terms of self-compassion, and how do I help to cultivate that in my child as well? So thank you so much for sharing that. Anyone else? So of course the chat is there. There's a little box called the chat, so you can go into it and type in your thoughts, or you can open up and share as well.
I think maybe I can say something, Kushani. I think what came up to me is the importance of compassion and like the invitation it creates for reflection. And I think this has been true for me when it comes to like I think the work I do, and even in parenting, like Krista said. So we are all work in progress, I believe, as human beings, and there's always every experience is a learning opportunity. So sometimes at the end of the day, to really sit down and be compassionate to self and to people around you. I think sometimes, so I sit down and reflect and ask a few important questions. And as the clip was playing, I really like the fact that, oh, maybe you can also ask it in that friend's perspective. So that's probably something I'll integrate into my practice. So I'm loving that. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Andy, for sharing that. Yeah, I think I'm sure everyone is reflecting on their own. So I'm going to kind of walk through the presentation now. Have technical difficulties. Let me just kind of pull that back in. Yeah. So with that, I'm going to kind of move into what I want to bring in that I think will help everyone, because this is something called yin and yang of self-compassion. And this tool is introduced by Dr. Christine Neff. I think you can go and search her videos up, and she has written some amazing books on self-compassion. So what she talks about is just like what we saw in the video, we can show compassion towards others, and how do we really show it to ourselves? And what are you really doing to cultivate your self-compassion? And she brings in some interesting way of looking at this. What it says is there's a part of fierce compassion as well as very tender compassion. So the fears, let me go into the tender first. So tender is more of soothing, comforting, that very, like, when a newborn baby is there, how a mother would be around that baby. So that kind of self-compassion is the very tender side of self-compassion, which is the yin side of it. And the yang side of it is more of a fierce self-compassion, which is very protective and motivating. And this you can think of as like a mama bear who is there to protect the cubs and do anything to motivate the cub. So going into this kind of tool, what I want you to really notice is what kind of self-compassion do you really usually show up with, or in a difficult situation, or when you are going through something, what is it that naturally comes to you? Is it the more tender side of things, or is it more of the fierce side of things? I want you to reflect on that, because we obviously have both of it, but we tend to just lean into that one side of things more than the other side. And what can I say? I think for me, in difficult situations, I can see myself being, oh, okay, I want to take care of myself. I want to protect myself. I want to just be with myself. And I tend to lean more into the yin side of it. So with the very tender side of it, I want to, take a nice bath and just forget whatever is happening in that moment. So, or like, listen to music. So I think that's my way of leaning into in my default patterns. So just let me know what kind of side that do you usually lean into. You can type it again in the chat box or even open up and share. Let's listen to some people, I would say. Oh, I can call out names as well if that helps. So Amy, if I ask like, usually what is your kind of
I would say I
default?
mostly lean towards the yin side of it. Um, like looking at the videos, I kind of realized, okay, this is what I'm actually doing. And yes, like, okay, if I practice the other part of it also, things would be so much different around me, and probably how I impact others because of how I um kind of lean towards that tender side of myself when it's in tough situations. So yeah.
Thank you for that. Lovely, lovely thoughts. Anyone else? Right, if not, I can move forward. Let me go through. Yeah, so what I want to do is to kind of figure out, okay, you may have noticed, okay, what kind of side do I really lean into? Is it the yin side or the yang side, the more tender or, fierce side? What I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you through a tool, and with this tool, you can do it with me and see, okay, what am I doing more of? What am I doing less of? And is it really helping me? And to really find that harmony, right? So I want you to, yeah, so this is the part about the yin and yang. So the yin is the very comforting, soothing, validating side. So it's really about being with yourself. And the yang is the protecting, providing, and motivating side, which is doing something about it. Yeah, you are in a difficult situation, but what are you really going to do about it to come out of it and to show yourself self-compassion, right? And okay, this is what it is. And my friend Hafsa will be dropping down a PDF in the chat as well, where you can use it. So it's an editable PDF. You can type it in the PDF itself, or you can do it with a paper and a pen. That's totally fine. So what I want you to do is really recall a situation that you are having difficulty with at the moment. So it could be personal or professional. Yeah. I'll give you a few seconds. If you have the situation, let's go at look at the yin side of things. So this is about being with yourself, right? So the first part of it is the comforting part of it. So what can I do to take care of my emotional needs? So write down one thing that you can do to take care of your emotional needs. So give me a thumbs up if you have gone through it, and like you can let me know, and Amy can kind of help me that everyone is with me going through this. So I get an indication. Yeah, what are some things that you can do to take care of your emotional needs? Yeah. All right. So I'm going to move forward for the next one. So what can I do to make myself feel physically calm and more at ease? I think if you were listening into Krista's session before, you would have gotten some things as well, because it's all connected, right? It's all connected to how we like cultivate our well-being. How do we really harness that part of things? So what can you do to make yourself feel physically calm and more at ease? So for me, really taking that long bath sometimes is something just that it really makes me feel good physically, right? So something, or like doing my workout, I think it really helps me. And I think from Krista's session as well. So is it doing something around yoga? So what is it that for you that will help feel physically calm and more at ease? Yeah. If that's done, or you've thought about what it is, we can go ahead and look at the validating side of things. So what can I say to myself to validate my own feelings? So we say a lot of things when something goes wrong either at work, or I'm just recalling something that happened even this week. And what were those first thoughts that came to my mind? So in a tough situation like this, what can we really say to ourselves to validate those feelings, like to show that self-compassion? If you've kind of thought about it or have written it down, give me a thumbs up and we'll move forward. Yeah. All right. Thanks, Krista. Thanks, Andy. Okay. So we've looked at the yin side of it, the feminine, the very tender side of self-compassion. Let's look at the yang side of it, which is the more fierce. And if you are someone who you feel like, okay, I need to cultivate this more in my life. I need this because I do a lot of yin and I don't really do a lot of yang. Then this is something you can ponder upon. So the first one is protecting. What can I do to stop others that are hurting me or stop the harm I inflict on myself? So just try to think of it. It could be, okay, you're really, having this, uh, what can I say, like a disagreement with a friend maybe, or another person. What is it that you can do? Create boundaries, or like how do you create it? I would say just even blocking that person, or is it something that you can do to protect your own self, right? So while that's happening, I'm going to move forward to the next one, which is providing. And this is about what I can do to give myself what I need. So what is it that I can do here? Again, it's about looking at, okay, how do I show myself compassion to protect myself here? Provide for myself. So I'm just checking in, hope everyone is with us going through it. You don't have to write it itself, you can just ponder upon it as well to see, okay, what am I really doing, or what do I need to do more of as well? Yeah. So the final one in the yang side of self-compassion is motivating. And that is, how can I motivate myself with kindness, support, and understanding rather than criticism? So if you saw that video, I think you could see like, okay, this is the normal way of showing up. This is how we usually say things to ourselves. But how can we really motivate ourselves? Because usually sometimes we look for outside to get that motivation as well. And can we do it to ourselves to show that self-love, self-compassion? I think the more we do that, the more confident we feel, the more we come out of situations faster and better. So just write down some thoughts. Okay, how can I motivate myself here? Okay, so that is the end of the tool or the exercise I wanted to leave with you all. So let me know, just going through it, what came up for you? What are some things? So yeah, what are some insights that came up for you maybe?
Hi, Kushani.
Yeah, hi, Shiara.
Hi. So going through it, I thought to myself different ways in which I can support myself, especially this thing that talking to yourself as a friend would. I thought that was fantastic. Thank you for sharing that. And I've been having a bit of a tough day at work and also having my children at the back of my mind. So this has been a good session, which has given me a balance right when I needed it. Thank you so much.
Lovely. I mean, my pleasure, Shiara. I think speak for everyone. I think women do so much, right? I'm reminded, okay, we are celebrating Women's Day here, so tomorrow. And yeah, I think cultivating that self-compassion, how that can really help because we do a lot. We do a lot to others, and what is it that we can do to ourselves as well? So thank you so much for that sharing, Shara. And yeah, let me kind of leave you all with one simple thought to end the session, my session. So which is just a moment of self-compassion can change your entire day. A string of such moments can change the course of your life. So really think about that. So just like Shiara said, like that one moment can really, really, really change your entire day, your entire mood, and how you show up. How you show up at work, how you show up as a friend, how you show up as a mother. So it can really make a difference. And a string of those can really change and make a difference to your life. So that's the thought I want to leave you with. And I hope you cultivate more self-love and self-compassion in your life. And thank you so much for listening in and joining us.